I think we can start the webinar now. Hello everyone. I am Nikita, representative of Tantra Mind. Very warm welcome to everyone to this webinar. Today we are really excited to able to bring this informative and engaging discussion today. So we know that your time is really valuable, so we want to make the most of it. Thanks for sharing out time from your busy schedule and be a part of this webinar. Today we are presenting revolutionizing procurement with the power of Tantra Mind's e-procurement solution. We'll quickly run through our today's agenda. We'll go first with the panelist introduction. Then we have products and services offered by Tantra Mind, challenges in the process, and how our platform could be the solution to all these problems. There will be a demo to give you a glimpse of portal, and we will conclude the session by answering all your queries. Little housekeeping before we start the session. Please, everyone, feel free to type your queries and concern in the question box during the session. We will address them during the session and in the QA round as well. Now I would like to invite our first speaker. So we have Mr. Chandan Nigudkar. He's delivery head of Tantra Mind and IT professional with solid experience in global IT service delivery, account management, project and program management for global clients with almost over 20 years of experience in hand. Over to you, Mr. Chandan.
Okay. Hi. Thank you, Nikita. A very warm welcome to all. And again, thanks for joining thanks for joining the webinar today. Making time from your busy schedule. I'm hoping you will get valuable insights into our e-procurement platform on how to tackle some of the issues, challenges you might be facing into a procurement area. I will quickly give a introduction of Tantra Mind as an organization and a quick glimpse of our product line that we have apart from the e-procurement solution that we will discuss in detail. So quickly, who we are. Tantra Mind is part of Amdan Group of companies. We are a technology group specializing in SAP consulting through our Amdan brand. And we also have a product suite and product offering, which is delivered through our Tantra Minds brand. So we have two brands, basically Amdan, which is more on consulting, and Tantra Mind focused on products. Tantra Mind is basically a product company, as I said. We have cutting edge products which are based on AI ML technology, which are helping our customers to tackle their pain points, also overcoming their day-to-day challenges in various different aspects in many line of business. As an organization, we are a combination of consulting as well as a technology force. As I said, under the Amdan brand, we have two organizations. One is focused on consulting and one is focused on product. We are very strong understanding of business processes and various industries like manufacturing, retail industries, utilities, pharma, automotive, etc. And also we have a very strong technical architects and technical development team. And as a combination, we are able to bring an innovative set of products to the market. So basically, we have all the required skills, experience, and the team to bring the latest innovative products into the market. We are a global company with presence in Europe and India, mostly Europe and India, though we have few customers in North America, South America, and other region. Our headquarters is in London. We have our development and delivery center in Pune, Hinjewadi. We have a large customer base which is spread across Europe and India. We also have required, and as I said, from a consulting perspective, we are very focused on SAP. We have required certifications and partnership with SAP. So we know the technology, we know the processes and the business. With that, I will go next and quickly introduce our products that we have as part of a Tantra Minds group. So next slide, please. Okay, so this slide gives a quick snapshot. Basically, what are different solutions, products that we bring to the table. I will start with the invoice management first solution. So our invoice management solution is a very simple, reliable, and smart platform to automate manual incoming invoice process for the accounts payable process. So basically anything, I mean, those people who business, we get lot of number of invoices, incoming invoices, and we have to process those invoices quickly and in timely manner. So our solution is very focused on automating all these tasks, bringing out the errors that happen during the incoming invoice processing, and saving the valuable time for your business to put focus on to the business effectiveness of your organization. So that's about our invoice management. We also have our own ERP. So it is an integrated, intelligent AI-based solution which covers all core modules like sales and distribution, production planning, finance, materials management, procurement, asset accounting, and which are which are needed for any successful organizations. It is a leading ERP. We are utilizing, as I said earlier, AI ML technology to its best with focus on automation. And that's the value add that we provide with our ERP. So it enables user in automating most of their manual tasks in O2C cycle or P2P cycle or payment cycle, etc. And then they can focus on the key business outcomes. So basically, that's where our ERP helps the organization. Then the third product we have is CS, customer service, where we have customer portal and vendor portal. So we call it as a customer and supplier collaboration portal. So it has two components, as you can see, customer portal as well as supplier portal. And then we firmly believe that our customers and suppliers are the key external stakeholders. So for our success, we need to make sure that our customers and our suppliers are happy, as they are the integral part of any business that we do. So customer and supplier experience is hard for us when we design this product. It has two main capabilities. So one is a customer portal, which is a self-service portal, which provides a secure place where your customers can manage their accounts, view and pay their invoices, place orders, and many other things in real time. It offers a gateway to your business where customers can solve account queries of their own at their time, at what is convenient to them. So basically, it helps and eases out a pressure on as an organization to provide the queries and respond to the queries and things. The customers themselves can log into the portal and they can do their self-service. And unless it is very critical, they will call to the support desk and things like that. So that's where we are from the customer portal perspective. Similarly, on the other side, the supplier portal, again, it's a self-service portal. We have various modules available in supplier portal, like a vendor onboarding, where we manage the entire life cycle of vendors. Then sourcing management, which covers probably quotation request, sending quotations to multiple vendors, then comparison between the responses of vendor, and then finally creating a purchase order in an ERP system. It also has a P2P hub, which provides visibility from purchase order to payments and provides other functionalities like ASN and things like that. Supplier portal provides also e-catalog functionality, where supplier can upload their images, buyers can compare the services or the goods the supplier is saying, then create a purchase requisition and using the shopping cart functionality and the rest of the standard functionality required for a supplier to be self-service. So that's about our supplier portal. E-procurement, I'm not going to speak because this entire webinar is based to discuss that in further. Then from inventory management perspective, our inventory management and warehouse management solution, it's basically for those organizations who are looking for warehouse management, which covers both inbound and outbound inventory management solutions. So basically anything and everything with inbound and outbound inventory, all the processes are available as part of the inventory and warehouse management. And finally, we have analytics product. So where we have a pre-built analytics dashboards, which are a plug and play to any ERP system, and then specifically probably more relate to towards SAP, but you can use it on any ERP. So these are pre-built dashboards that typically at CXO level or CFO level or head of sales, and they are looking at. We have already done research for over last 7-8 years. We have found out what are the best dashboards, what are the fields, what are the features that needs to be dashboard, what the CEOs, CFOs, or head of sales are looking. And then we have this pre-built dashboard. So whenever we get onto table, we already have those dashboards which are ready, which we need probably some fine tuning based on your organization need, and then we are ready to go. So we have various tools that we are experiencing. So basically, be it SAP, SSE, Power BI, Tableau, or ClickLens, or all our dashboards. They are portable and they work with different tools and technology. And in the backend, any with the ERP, so we are able to pull data from any of the ERPs. So that's a quick overview, and I will then not take much time, and then we will move to today's topic to understand more about the e-procurement solution. So with that, I will hand it over to Nitin for your. So thank you again. Thanks. Over to you, Nitin.
Thank you, Chandan sir. So first of all, I would like to welcome all attendees present here for the webinar. My name is Nitin Deshmukh, and I will be a host for the webinar today with my colleagues Chandan sir. And we had a couple of webinars in the past on our different products, but today we have a first webinar on our e-procurement solution. And I hope you will find this session useful. And in next 40 to 50 minutes, we will see how we create a better experience to your suppliers and for your procurement teams. So first of all, before we go deep into what we have today for you, we would like to view the background and refresh our memory about the procurements. So basically, procurement is a process of sourcing of products and services from point of supply to point of demand. And also it is defined as buying a right material in the right quantity at the right moment, at the right price from the right suppliers. So now to do this process effectively, we need some intelligent solutions to perform all this activity with all transactions. So as you can see on the screen, the procurements basically divided into two parts, the tactical procurement and operational procurement. So under tactical procurement, so first you can see the specification. So this is the phase where all needed material and services for maintaining and developing a direct and indirect production activities are identified, which we call it a specification. Then selection of suppliers. So this phase consists of identifications, evaluation, and selection of vendors between the different vendors. And the last, in a tactical procurement, we can see the contract. So in this phase, the price negotiated and the contract are concluded with the suppliers. And on the right-hand side, after the tactical procurement, usually we do the ordering. We place the purchase order. Then for the delivery, we have to monitor our purchase order and delivery material that we are going to procure. And after that, we evaluated that particular material at what price we got this material, and we do some analysis on this procurement. So basically, this is a procurement, we can say. Now coming to the next slide, we will see the traditional and typical manual procurement process. So as you see in the screen, so this is a critical manual process where the users specify their requirements. Then the procurement teams check the availability of that particular material, product, or services. Also, they can see a different factors. And after that, the team, internal department raise the requisitions for that service or for that product. And actually, we need to take approval for that requisitions. And after the requisition approval, the sourcing activity will start. So first, we need to identify the suppliers. We have to evaluate the suppliers. And after the evaluations, basically, we use in a procurement tool auctions and RFQ for the evaluations. And after the evaluation, we select the supplier. then obviously we have to raise the purchase order after the selections. We need to approve this purchase order. Then manually we have to send this purchase order to our suppliers, and continuously we have to take a status of our order. And after receive the shipment, so we have to pay to our customers. So we have to review the invoice for that supplier. Sorry. And if there is an exception, so manually we have to handle this exception. So for example, we have put some price in our purchase order, and by mistakenly supplier have put a wrong price in their invoices. So manually we have to handle these exceptions. And after the exception handling, we have to pay to the customers. So we need to take approval for the payment, and we do the payment to the suppliers. And manually, if we get some rejection in that process, so we have to do this rejection manually. And as you can see, the entire process could take a days or even a weeks. And the traditional procurement process involve a manually managing the functions with a heavy dependence on a paperwork, getting a calls with the peoples for the update, and so that the goods and services reach from one point to another in a stipulated time frame. So not only was the process is a time consuming, but it was also a prone for the disruption from various factors due to the lack of visibility. And we have seen this situation in a different organizations, and to overcome from these situations, TantraMind invented an e-procurement solution with the e-auctioning, with the RFQ, vendor management, vendor rating reports, e-invoicing capabilities. Also, it involves a P2P process as well. Now, coming to the next slide, we will see. So first of all, what is e-procurement? So e-procurement is defined as a digital B2B business process that utilizes internet technology to centralize a purchasing workflow and streamline business transactions like procuring goods, services to reduce the cost and improve the purchasing process. And e-procurement application replace a paper-based operations by automating a traditional procurement processes, and it helps to analyze a spend for a strategic cost-saving operations between a finance and procurement team. And e-procurement application integrated a spend analysis, e-sourcing, e-options, procure to pay, marketplace, contract management. Also, it include a e-catalog as well. So this is a e-procurements that we have. Now coming to the next slide, please. So in this slide, you can see the steps involved in the e-procurements. So basically, to start the procurement, obviously we have to raise a request for proposal, and for the request for proposal, we have to select some suppliers for that request. And once we select the suppliers, we have to do some auctions and RFQ process. We're sending a quotations to our vendors. Then vendors quote their best rate. We do some comparisons between the different quotations. We do some analysis on that quotations. And after the analysis and after the comparisons, we finalize one vendors. And after that, we raise the purchase order for that particular vendors. And once we receive the obviously against the purchase order, we receive the supply. And once we receive the supply material, then we have to pay to our vendors. So these are the steps which is involved in e-procurement processes. Now coming to the next slide. Yeah, so in this slide, you can see TantraMind e-procurement RFQ and RFI process. So basically, this activity start from the creation of the PR. So basically on our e-procurement solutions, we have a purchase requisitions creations facility. Also, we can take approval for that purchase requisitions from the different departments. So approval workflow is there to approve the purchase requisitions. And once the purchase requisition get approved from our departmental heads, then usually we create the request for quotations using this purchase requisitions. And once we create the request for quotation, we send those requests for quotations to the different vendors. During this scenario, our portal will generate e-procurement suite will generate email notifications. That email notification will automatically get sent to all vendors that we have added at the time of the creation of RFQ. And once the vendor receive the email notification, vendor have to log into the portal, then open the request, and vendor will be able to quote their price against this request. And once we receive the quotation, and if we are not satisfied with the rate which is quoted by the vendors, then we can ask for the revisions. So the revision facility is also available. So vendor will revise their rate and again send their quotations. And once we confirm that these are the quotations, which is the finalized quotations, then we can log that quotations so that no vendor will can quote that particular quotation after the log. And once we log the quotations, we have some comparisons form. We do the comparisons, and after the comparisons, we complete the quotation. And within an e-procurement suite, it will create a purchase order, and that purchase order will be automatically sent it to the vendors. So this is the independent solutions. Here, no integrations between ERP. And Nishant, if you click, yeah, and if you want to integrate this solution, so if you have your backend ERP system like SAP, Oracle, or any other ERP, and if you want to integrate this RFQ functionality with this e-procurement suite, so we can do this implementations, integrations with the help of the web services or with the help of FTP method. So here you can see on the screen, before we have created the purchase order on a e-procurement suite. But if you want to integrate the e-procurement suite with your ERP, it will automatically create a purchase order within your backend ERP system. So we can integrate this solution on the ERP system as well. So this is the basically RFQ and RFI functionalities. Now coming to the next slide, please. Yeah. So this slide you can see the e-auctions, which is one of our components available within an e-procurement solutions. So e-auctions are online auctions where buyer can bid on the items and the purchase them electronically. So this activity is start from the management of the indent. So basically indent, we call it as a purchase requisitions in terms of ERP. Then we create the RFP, a request for proposal. Then we start the bids. So basically we have to add some vendors for the auctions. So using a vendor registration, vendor management tools available within our e-procurement suite, we can add a vendors for the bidding. Then vendor will log into the system, then submission the bids, then open and judging the bids, and the selection and the finalizations of the vendors will be available in an e-procurement suite. And once we finalize the vendors, then e-auctions will be completed. Then we do a contract between a vendors and company, and then the next activity will start. So this is a e-auctions, so it will support reverse auction as well as a forward action as well. So this is a auction tools which is available in our e-procurement suite. Now coming to the next slide, please. Yeah. So this is the vendor registrations available within an e-procurement suite. So if you want to onboard any vendors in the organizations, obviously we have to follow some steps and some guidelines. And to follow the compliances, we have implemented this vendor registration under vendor management. So the vendor registration, you can see in the screen, the activity will start from the creation of invitations. So basically in an e-procurement suite, the sourcing user send the invite to the vendor. So once the vendor receive so for the invitations, first of all, we had to enter some basic informations like vendor name, vendor company name, vendor email ID. And once we click on the invite button, which is available inside that form, then our portal will trigger email notifications to the suppliers. So on the screen, you can see, so supplier will receive the email notifications. And once the email notification received by the supplier, in that email notification, there will be one link. So supplier has to click on that link. And once supplier click on that link, it will open a registration form. So supplier has to fill up that registration form. Also, supplier can attach some mandatory documents. So you know that to onboard suppliers within our organizations, some documents which is mandatory. So that mandatory document supplier can upload using this attachment functionality. And after the attachment and fill up all the information, supplier usually submit the registration form. And in the left hand side, you can see we are receiving the registration form, and the sourcing user first will verify the informations. And once sourcing user approve that informations, then that informations will be visible to the account payable users. And here account payable users will verify the finance related information. So basically the registration form will contain the informations like company details, company financial details, company address details. So like that information available within this registration form. And each and every organizations within a company, like the finance department informations will be there, the procurement related information will be there. So all type of informations will be verified the different users which is available within our organizations. And that approval workflow is also available within these applications. So here you can see the finance user will verify the finance related informations. And after the verification of all the informations, it will automatically creates a vendor within an e-procurement suite. And at the same time, it will trigger email notifications to that particular vendors. And that email notification will contain you have successfully onboarded within the e-procurement suites. And if you want to integrate these solutions, vendor registration within with your backend ERP system, so that solution also available. So Nishant, if you click, it will show the integrations. Yeah. So once we finalize the vendor within an e-procurement suite, so here manually no need to enter the data within your ERP system using integrations with the web services or with the FTP. It will automatically create a vendors on your backend ERP system, and same vendor will be available on the portal for the further process. So this is a vendor registration we have within an e-procurement suite. Now coming to the next slide, please. Yeah, so the next functionalities we have a e-catalog within an e-procurement. So obviously you know that once we finalize the vendors, we do some RFQ, and for that we do some RFQ and auction process. And once after the finalization of particular vendor, usually we do maintain an info record within our ERP system. That info record contains a supplier and material price records. And same price records we can maintain within a catalog. So in the diagram, you can see sourcing user maintain the catalog with the different prices. And the other users of the company, they will open the catalog within this e-procurement suite. They will be able to see a list of material, products, and services available inside the catalog. Or that user can compare the services and products with the different suppliers. So for example, if we are procuring some like a consumable material, we can say a pen, and same pen that we have a 3 to 4 supplier, and same pen supplied by other supplier with a different rate. So we can compare that pen with the different suppliers, and we can choose one of the suppliers using this cart facility. And it will, once we finalize the cart, it will create a purchase requisitions within this our e-procurement suite. So this is a e-catalog functionality we have within our applications. Now coming to the next slide, please. Yeah, so these are the sourcing activities just we have seen. And also our e-procurement suite supports a P2P activities. So if you want to create a purchase order within the e-procurement suite, so we can create the purchase order within an e-procurement suite. Same purchase order will be available to the supplier. Supplier will be able to see the purchase order, delivery schedule within this purchase order. Also, when we receive the goods from the suppliers, usually we post the good receipts. So that good receipts also available to visible to the suppliers. And also in parallel, our application will trigger an email notification for the each and every transactions. And once we, so usually using this application, supplier can raise a ASN, create a ASN using these applications. That ASN will create an invoice, so automation we can do. And after we maintain a ledger of that particular vendors, so that ledger is also visible to the vendors. And on the left hand side, you can see there is an ERP sections. So if you want to integrate this system with the ERP system, so we can integrate in. Once we create any purchase order, good receipts, incoming invoices, once we book the incoming invoices, payments. So once we do all this activity, that PO, that good receipts, that incoming invoices, payment will be visible into e-procurement suite. And that transaction will be visible for the business user as well as it will be visible for the supplier as well. So this is a procurement suites we have within our within our e-procurement. Now coming to the next slide. Yeah, so these slides belong to the independent procurement suite, e-procurement suite. So if you don't have any backend ERP system, but if you want to streamline your P2P process along with the sourcing, vendor management, e-catalog, so that independent solution is available in our applications. And if you want to integrate your complete, so in this diagram you can see, so this is a supplier login, this is a company login, and this you can see the above activity belongs to the supplier. Supplier will do that activities, and for each and every activity our application trigger email notifications. And the bottom of the page you can see there is a company login. So these are the activities belongs to the company. And this is the complete package of e-procurement solutions. And this is an independent solution. But if you want to integrate this solution with your ERP, and if you want to automate certain process within your ERP using the e-procurement solution, so that integration suits, integration e-procurement suites also available. If you go to the next slide, Nishan, please. Yeah. So in this slide, you can see the above part is our e-procurement suite. Then middle, we have an integration layer. And at the bottom, we have a ERP. So that ERP could be SAP, SAP Business One, Oracle, and etc. Any other ERP. And usually we do the integrations between our e-procurement suite to other ERP system via web services, web APIs we are using. Also, we can connect this application via FTP as well. And as you can see on the screen, we can automate certain things using some functionalities. So on applications, we have ASN functionalities. So usually when we raise a purchase order to the suppliers, supplier will be able to see the purchase order delivery schedule available in the purchase order. And when suppliers start the delivery for that particular material, so supplier has to log into the portal and supplier has to create one ASN documents. So PO flip to ASN functionality is available within this applications. And once supplier create the ASN using our e-procurement suite, so at that same time, our application trigger email notifications to the buyer as well as for the store user. And using that email notifications, procurement team and store team manage their activity. They will create a space for that materials, and they can also track the activity using this ASN. And once we receive the goods within our factory premises, so usually we have to manually check the goods which we have received from the suppliers. And after the confirmations of the goods, manually, physically, we have to check these goods. And after the confirmations, we have to log into the e-procurement suite. So on an e-procurement suite, we have a different logins. So store user will log into the e-procurement suite. They will see the ASNs, and in the ASN, they will confirm the quantity. Store user going to confirm the quantity. And on the confirmations of the quantity, it will create a good receipts in your backend ERP system. And also after the confirmations of the good receipts quantity, usually we book the invoice. So here account payable team also log into the portal. They will be able to see how many good receipts have been done with the different suppliers. And on the confirmations of the same document, ASN document, it will create or it will book the invoice within our backend ERP system. So like that automations we can do using these e-procurement suites. And when we so usually in backend ERP system we have ledgers for a particular different vendors. So same ledgers will be available in the e-procurement suite. So vendor will be able to see the ledgers, how many payments got cleared and how many invoices are open. Also the message center functionality is available. It is like a WhatsApp chat. They can, if the vendor want to chat with the procurement team, they will be able to chat using these functionalities. So like a complete suite is available within an e-procurement solution. Now we jump into the demo, but before I will hand over to Nikita for the poll question.
Yes, thank you, Nitin, for your valuable insights. Hello?
Yeah.
Thank you, Nitin.
Thank you.
So now I would request all our attendees to please respond to the poll question. It will shortly appear on your screens. What are the biggest challenges your organization faces when it comes to procurement? We'll wait for few more seconds to let everyone respond to the question. Thank you all for the responses. I think over to you, Nitin.
Yeah, thank you. So just a minute. Let me open my system. Yeah. So I hope my screen is visible for all of us. So this is the login screen of our applications, e-procurement applications. And just right now I'm a login as an admin user so that we can see what are the functionalities, different functionalities available within this e-procurement suite. So as I said earlier, so first of all, we have a user management. So this tile belongs to the admin user. So admin user will manage the users which is available inside our e-procurement suite. So that user will be able to activate, deactivate the users, the existing users. Also, the admin user can change the credentials. So like that activity admin can do. Then we have a master sections. So within a master sections, we maintain a vendor masters, material masters. Also, we have other masters as well, like the info record, material, supplier material info, price masters. Then, as I said earlier, so we have a vendor registration. So this is the vendor registrations. So in under vendor registration, you can see a different tiles, which is a new submissions, approved, registered, rejected. So I will tell you each and every tile one by one. So when we want to send invitations to the particular supplier, so basically we use a new tile for the invitations. So in a new tile, basically we send, we have to enter some basic informations. So if you want to send an invite to the vendor, so here we have given one buttons. I just have to click on that button. So once I click on that buttons, it will open a basic informations form. So here we have to fill up some details like a vendor company name, first name, last name, email ID. And once we click on the invite button, so it will trigger email notifications. And that email notifications, once the vendor will receive the email notification, it will have one link. So vendor have to click on that link and it will open the registration form. So just I will show you. So this is the kind of registration form. So this is the registration form a vendor will receive. So vendor have to fill up some information. So this is the basic informations, company related informations vendor will fill up. Then here you can see the registered office informations, trading address, supplier financial data. So that kind of informations will fill up by the suppliers. So in a document section, supplier can attach the documents as well. So after adding the documents, then supplier has to submit this registration form. And after the submission of the registration form, that registration form will be visible onto the portal. So if I click on that, so once the supplier has submitted the registration form, that registration form will be visible in a submission section. So here in a submission section, the sourcing user will verify the informations, and once sourcing user approve that informations, then that registration form will automatically move to the approved tile. So here the account payable team has to log into applications and they will be able to see the details. So just let me. So yeah, so supplier will be able to see the registration form. This is the registration form, and after the approval of the registration form, then that form will be visible to the procurement user. Then procurement user will enter the informations, basic informations, and after entering the basic information, it will create the vendors within an e-procurement suite. And if we have integrated this solution with the backend ERP system, then it will automatically create a vendors in a backend ERP system, and that created vendors will be available onto the portal. So that is a functionality, vendor registration functionality is available within this applications. Then just we have seen a RFQ section. So if we want to do a sourcing activity, so here you can see the RFQ section. So in a RFQ section, basically we send a request for quotations to the different vendors. So to send the request for quotations, so here we have given one tile RFQ. So user has to click on that tile. It will open a new form. So here we have given a one button, RFQ button. So once I click on that RFQ button, it will open a registration. It will open the form. So here we will have to fill up some information: RFQ date, the purchasing organizations, currency. So this suite will support a different currency. And once we enter all the RFQ information, so we have to click on the items tab. So basically here we add the items that we want to procure, that we want to get a quotations from the different vendors. So once we add the material here, so once I click on that, so here it will show the material. So list of raw material. Just a minute. Yeah, so here we have given a save button. So once, so here I have to enter the target quantity. What is the target quantity we are going to procure? So I'm adding here 100, so 100,000, sorry, 1,000 quantity I'm going to procure. So here we will have to add a unit of measures. So then price unit. So once we added all the informations, we have to click on the save button. So right now we have added a material, and for the material, so we just add some vendors. So from here we can add some vendors to procure this material from the different vendors. And after adding this vendors, usually we have to publish these quotations. And after the publish this quotation, it will send email notifications to the different vendors. And after that, it will vendor will receive the email notification. Then vendor will log into the portal, quote their price using these applications. So just a minute, I'm getting some network issues. Nikita, can you run a poll, because I just need to set up one issues with my system.
Yes, sure, Nitin. So a second poll question will be on your screen. So a second poll question is on your screen. Are you interested in one-to-one demo for our e-procurement solution? We'll wait for a few more seconds. So let just everyone give their responses to the poll.
Yes. Can you
Yes, yes, Nitin, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So sorry, got some issues with the system. Yeah. So just we have seen a RFQ. So to create a RFQ, usually we have to click on the new button. So once we click on the new button here, you can see the create RFQ section is there. So once we click on this create RFQ, so basically we have to add some informations. So here we add some informations, the RFQ date we have to select, purchase organizations we have to select, the currency, the different currency it will support. And once we once we create a RFQ, so usually we add some vendors. So here you can see we assign some vendors. So this material we have added, we have assigned two vendors for this RFQ. And once we added the materials and vendors, and if you want to attach some documents along with the RFQ, so document section is there. So we can attach the documents as well. So if we have a design documents, that design documents, some specification documents we have, so that kind of documents we can attach from here. And after the documents attachment, so here you can see the publish button. So once I click on the publish button, it will create a email notifications to the different vendors that we have added. So just I click on the publish button. So once I click on the publish buttons, then it will create a email notifications. So just I received. So here you can see the RFQ successfully published. So like that email notification supplier will receive, and then supplier will log into the system. So right now I'm login as a supplier. So this is the supplier account. I logged in as a supplier. So under the suppliers, we have again RFQ section. So under RFQ, we have a request. So this request, your supplier has to click on the request tile. And once the supplier click on the request tile, supplier will be able to see the created and published RFQ. So if supplier want to quote their price against this RFQ and against this material, supplier has to click on the more details button. So once supplier click on the more details button, so here you can see the list of added materials just we have added at the time of the request for quotations. And as a supplier, I want to quote my price. So here we have given one quote button. I just have to click on the quote button. So here we can see the target quantity, the quotation quantities. So as a supplier, I'm going to quote a 10. Then the net price for that particular material. So for the material, I'm going to quote 150 rupees. The payment terms, supplier can select the payment terms from here. Then the delivery date, then comments, if you want to add some comments, so we can add some comments from here. So once I click on the save button, so right now I just create a quotations as a supplier. And after the completion of the quotation, it will create a email notifications to the buyer. Then buyer will be able to see the quoted different quotations. So right now I'm a login as a supplier, and we'll see the comparison from how we can compare a different quotations between a different vendors. So this is a buyer user. So once I log in as a buyer, so the responded quotation, once we receive the response from the different supplier, that quotation will automatically move into the respond tile. And if you want to see the comparisons, so these are the responded quotations by the suppliers. And if I want to see the response which we have received, I just have to click on the more details button. So here you can see the two materials we have added. And if we want to make a comparisons between a different vendors, so here we have given a quote button. So we have to click on that quote button. So here you can see this is our vendors, first vendor. So that first vendor, the quoted their rate, the quotation quantity will be 100, the target quantity is a 100, and the order price in it. So for the first material, the vendor have quoted a 65 rupees. And here you can see the different vendors. So same vendor have quoted a 65 only. And here you can see the another price. So this is a 102, and other supplier also quoted a 102. And if you want to compare different measures, so here we have given a select button. So we have to select a particular material. And once we select a particular material, and here we have given a compare button. So once I click on the compare button, it will show a comparison form. So this is the comparison form. So using this comparison form, buyer will select a particular vendors for the procurements. And after the selections, here you can see, so right now I'm going to select one of the quotations. So once I select a particular vendor, so from here we can create a follow-on documents. So we can create assignments, we can create a info records, we can create a purchase order. If you want to create directly, create the purchase order after the RFQ, we can create the purchase order after the RFQ as well. So these are the functionalities, RFQ functionalities we have. Now coming to the e-catalog. So let me log into the system. So this is the e-catalogs we have. So under the e-catalogs, the procurement team will maintain a e-catalog. So if you want to maintain a catalog for the different supplier, so sourcing user basically log into this screen, and here we have given a create buttons. So basically using an Excel template, supplier has to upload the catalog items. So once we added a catalog item, then it will show the catalog added item into the product section. So if I click on the product section, so this is a catalog user will be able to see. And if you want to procure any material using the catalog functionality, so here we have given one add to cart button. So we just have to click on the add to cart button. So that material will be added automatically into the cart. And once we complete once we have added all the material required material, we just have to click on the cart button. So here we can see one button, go to cart. So like e-commerce, we will be able to see the list of added materials. And once we select all the materials that we have added, so from here we can directly create the purchase requisitions or a purchase order. So this is a cart functionality we have. And after the cart, basically we have to raise the purchase order. So within a e-procurement suite, if you want to raise the purchase order, so here we have given purchase order sections. Using that purchase order sections, we can create a purchase order. So if you want to, if you want to create a purchase requisitions, so here you can see the purchase requisition sections we have given. So after click on the purchase requisition, we will be able to see a list of purchase requisitions. And so this purchase requisition we can send for the approval as well. So if you want to approve that same purchase requisitions from the departmental head, so using this functionality workflow, we can approve these purchase requisitions. And after the approval of the purchase requisitions, we can create the purchase order. So this is an independent tool. So if you don't have any backend ERP system and if you want to streamline the procurement process, so this is an independent applications. Here you can create the purchase order. So if you want to create a new purchase order, you can see we can create the new purchase order. For the creations, here we have given one button. So after click on that button, it will open a purchase order form. So same form also available in a backend ERP system. So user has to create a purchase order. So we can create a purchase order based on the purchase requisitions as well. And once we create a purchase order, here you can see one button is there. If you want to send a purchase order for the approval, so we can send the purchase order for the approval as well. And after that, the complete P2P process is there. So purchase order. So here you can see the reports as well. So new purchase order we have created. We can see if supplier want to see a list of open purchase orders. So open purchase order tile are there. So if I click on the open tile, so I will be able to see a list of release purchase order, that is open purchase order. And once supplier delivered the goods against this purchase order, then that purchase order will automatically move into the close tile. Then in last we have a all tile. So all tile will have a new purchase order, open and close purchase order. So all purchase order will be visible in a new all tile. And once we receive the goods from the supplier, so here we have given the good receipt and rejection sections. So, and if the user want to create a good receipts based on the purchase order, so user just have to click on the open button, open tile of the purchase order. And here we have given a good receipts button. So user just have to click on the good receipts button. So once user click on the good receipt button, it will open a form. And user just have to select a delivery note. So user will enter the delivery note here. Then the goods movements, because here we are receiving the goods from the vendors. So here user have to enter the GR quantity. So like a ERP, we can create the good receipt within an e-procurement suite. And if we want to take a good receipt from the backend ERP system, so this solution can be integrated with a backend ERP system. So once we create a good receipts in our backend ERP system, same good receipts will be visible in a new tile. Once we receive the material, complete the activities, then that good receipt will be visible into the closed tile. So, and if we have done any rejections against the goods, so that rejections will be available in the rejection tile. So here you can see the rejections with the rejected status. So these are the goods we have rejected. Also here you can see the documents also generated. And if you want to see the details of that rejections, so here we can see the rejections. So these are the material which we have rejected. And also here you can see the rejection reasons as well. So like that, rejections also available on the portal, and same rejection reasons will be visible to the suppliers as well. So supplier will be able to see the list of rejected material within the applications. And after that, here you can see once we receive the goods from the supplier, usually we have to book their invoices within our procurement suite. So here we have given the sections where we can book their invoices. So these are the invoices we can book within a ERP within a e-procurement solutions. And if you want to see the detail of that invoices, so here we have given a download button. So it will show the invoices that we have booked within a e-procurement suite. And if we have integrated this solution with our ERP system, so that tile will be able to see list of booked invoices that you have booked in your backend ERP system. So through the integrations, we fetch all those data from the backend ERP system and show it onto our applications. And if we don't have the backend ERP system, we independently book their invoices within a e-procurement solutions. And these are the invoices that we have received and the different status. So once we paid the particular invoices, that invoices will be visible. So these invoices are closed because we have paid all these invoices for the suppliers. And if you want to see the reports, so if I want to see the all close invoices, so here we have given one export button. So using this button, it will export the data into the Excel format. And if you want to see a list of paid invoices, so here we have given the paid one button. So these are the list of paid invoices. So that kind of reports we can download from these applications. And on top of that, we have some analytics. So if we want to see some analytics on this application, so here we have given a procurement report, procurement analysis reports. So once I click on that, it will open a Power BI analytics. So here user will be able to see analytics. So just a minute, it will take some time to load the analytics. So these are the analytics we can see within a procurement tool. So these are the pre-built analytics and pre-built reports that we have integrated with the e-procurement solutions. So if we want to do some analysis on a procurement, so using this Power BI analytics, we can do some analysis. So here you can see the total orders, total products, so volume, the order amount, so GR quantity, how much quantity we have received, how much rejections we have done within e-procurement solutions. So here you can see the amount by vendors. So here you can see the amount by vendors, which we can see from here. So these are the due amount that we have to pay to the vendors. and some analytics. So net value, so how many materials we have procured during the months, during the period. So here we can see some analytics, and these are some reports. So if I click on that, it will load some reports. So these are the reports. So if you want to see a document type, if we have a different document type like a scheduling agreement and standard purchase order, so that we can see the reports using by clicking on this functionality. It will show the order. So these are the scheduling agreement. We have 80 orders under the scheduling agreement, 34 products, and this much quantity of volume we have procured. These are the GR quantity, these are the return quantities. So these are the pre-built analytics we have within these applications. So this is all about the application that we have. Now I will hand over to Nikita. Hello.
Yes, thank you, Nitin, for the product demonstration. Hello, attendees. Thanks for sticking around. Now, I would like to request to all to please answer our last poll. It will shortly appear on your screen. We'll really appreciate that. Which process automation are you looking in your organization? So it's a multiple choice question. You can select multiple answers as per your requirement. We have vendor onboarding, invoice automation, sourcing, auction process, ASNGR creation process. Over to you, Nitin.
Yeah. So that's it from my side, Nikita. I think we can take a questions that we have received in a chat box.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, thanks, Nitin. We have received one question.
I'm not able to see the questions.
Yeah,
I'll read it.
I'll read the question. Can your solution integrate with our existing procurement system and processes?
Yes. So this solution can be integrated with any other application that you have, the ERP system within your organizations. And using a standard integrations methods like web services, web APIs, FTP. So we can integrate these solutions with the existing system that you may have. And using these integrations, we can automate certain things like good receipts. We can automate the inbound process. We can automate the invoicing process. So that solution can be integrated with any other applications.
Okay, thanks, Nitin. The next question is, how do you handle data migration from our existing systems to your e-procurement solution?
Yeah, so if you are thinking about the independent e-procurement solutions, so basically for the integrations, if you want to integrate our applications and if you want to transport the data from your applications to these applications, so you might have a ERP system, and if you want to integrate all transactions, and if you want to show all the transactions like a purchase order to the vendors, so for that we use a web services or FTP method. So we developed some APIs. We need to configure that APIs within your existing systems. And after the configuration of this API, the data automatically get transported from your system to our application database. Then we will show that data to your suppliers as well as for your buyers. So basically web APIs we can use, but if you are manually maintaining all these transactions, and if you have a data manual Excels you are maintaining. So basically Excel upload functionality is supporting in our application. So we can do the Excel uploads, as well as we can do the web service based API integrations for transporting the data from your existing applications.
Thank you, Nitin.
Yeah.
Over to you, Nikita.
Yes. So I think we have very close to end our sessions. Deep gratitude to all the attendees. Thank you so much for joining in today for this webinar. We really appreciate your participation, and your questions and comments really added value to this discussion. And please, everyone, feel free to contact us for any inquiry, or if you want to know about our product. So we have mentioned all the details about the companies on the screen. And thank you all. Thank you everyone for attending this webinar. Thank you once again.
Yeah, thank you.